That beat, that hit me right there in the chest. I felt it in the chest on that one. You know, it's I don't know if it's heartburn. I don't know if it's something I just ate. I did have I had a slice of pizza for dinner. You know, it's not spectacular. You know, I had eaten food 2 days ago, but that beat really hit me right in the heart. I felt it as we came in. Welcome to episode 3 of Heartbreak and Devastation. To, week 3 of uniting people within our nation. Week 3 of denouncing the evils of truth and love. Week 3 of extending our reach to the stars above. I'm your host, Jesse James, a.k.a. Kareem. So unfortunate. Just disgusting display that we saw this past week. Absolutely horrible. You know, when you make bad decisions, often what you get are terrible consequences. Just probably some of the most disgusting choices that I made this past week. And all you get is loss and heartbreak. All you get is sorrow, depression, just pure, unadulterated self-loathing. So let that be a cautionary tale to never trust a wide receiver who dropped so many footballs that the coach came out and told the whole team to stop dropping footballs. Only to turn around on Monday night and continue to drop footballs. Deontay, why? Why would you do this? Not only did you drop 2 footballs in the first 3 throws, you got yourself benched. You got yourself benched and you disrupted the flow of a perfectly good offense. Up until that point, the game was still yours. The game was still the Steelers to have won. And yet, they didn't win, did they? No, because they took the air out of your sails, and because you weren't on the field, your quarterback threw an interception. And that interception went for 6 points. And from that point on, that game was no longer yours. That game was no longer mine. Thank you, Deontay, for being such a butterfingered fool. Don't get me wrong, I couldn't have caught that football. I don't think that there's anyone inside this league that could have caught those footballs. Certainly not done anything with it. But dude, your coach tells you all week, don't drop the football. Don't drop the football. Don't drop the football. If anyone knows anything about the power of positivity, they know that in itself was only going to cause more drop footballs. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I should have seen it coming from a mile away. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, really. Just terrible foresight. Bad management. The fans will be fucking clamoring for a change for this team. I'll tell you that much. Come in the offseason, we're going to have possibly a riot if we don't draft well. I mean, how do you play a guy who's got cancer and just got coronavirus? How do you play that guy over a rookie who's just uptrending? How do you do that? Then how do you play a guy on the same team who dropped more footballs than that same running back has seen passes in the entire year? How do you do that? Who do you think you are? Where do you get off? That's what I want to know. I want to know, where do you get off thinking that you can beat a team that's 9-4 with strategies that probably only Serge Ibaka or Bad Story Not Fun could come up with? That's just not championship level decision making. It's not, That's what separates your team from their team. Is decision making. Is strategy. It's doing the right thing. Or, as a team used to be named, doing your job. It's just about doing your job. That job was not done, and an advancement into the second round was handed to still one of the worst teams in the league. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Well, that being said, let's just get into the matchups. And the way that I'm going to do these matchups this week, we're just going to go purely by team name. That's all that matters. You look at this first matchup, the King of the Hill. Now, why would someone call themselves the King of the Hill? I don't even think that he owns a propane tank or propane accessories. It was a great show. Don't get me wrong, it was a great show. But it's set in Texas. Bro, we live in Canada, dog. We live in Canada. We don't even know what Texas is. I bet you haven't even ever been to Texas. And yet you want to call yourself the King of the Hill. Goodness gracious. I mean, dude, do you really want your kid to end up like Bobby Hill? I don't think so. Don't try and do that. Don't try and make that happen. I mean, do you even get the Cartoon Network? Do you get Comedy Central? Do you get King of the Hill, reruns? Do you get King of the Hill marathons on Saturdays? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? You're going up against the old man by the river. That team, we've already gone through that name. I mean, that makes sense, right? But the only thing we know for sure about old men who sit by the river, they're just not connected. They're just completely out there in their own little world. Probably sipping a Mai Tai, probably shaking it up already. I don't know. I just don't know. Don't know what to tell you. And then in our other semifinal matchup, you got Mrs. Witten. Now, what are the implications of Mrs. Witten? Now, does that mean that you're married to Jason Witten? In which case, is Fiaz actually Jason Witten? Maybe that's why we're such big Cowboy fans. Maybe it's a subtle sort of situation like that. But then again, I think I would know if my cousin was Jason Witten. So I guess you're trying to say that you'd rather be married to Jason Witten? What type of shit is that? It's kind of fucked up. After all the wonderful times that I had in Ottawa, now you're telling me that you'd rather be married to Jason Witten? First of all, he's pretty old, okay? Jason Witten is an old guy, all right? Also, has he had a catch in the last 10 fucking games? I know he had a touchdown. So he's had one touchdown all year? Why don't you just roster Jason Witten then? Get it over with. Ain't no Jason Witten gonna save you. Not this week, at least. Especially if you, keep making the wrong decisions. Like you always do. Then you got Team Inconsequential. I mean, does that mean that it's inconsequential whether you play the game or not? You're still gonna lose? Does it mean that regardless of the opponent, you're gonna win? Does it mean that having Travis Kelce will be inconsequentially bad or good? I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to get at there. Look, all I'm saying is there's a lot of interesting names going on here in the semifinals this week. These should all be pretty fun to watch. I mean, one of the best things, and I say best things, although I really mean, one of the, terrible, sobering facts of this league is that regardless of what happens, we will have, for the third year in a row, one of the two women will be in the finals game. How incredible is that? And I sit there and I think to myself, is it really because they're that much better? Or is it because Ryan, Nabil, Raheem, Zahid are just so incompetent at their jobs that they can't sneak into the playoffs? Terrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna go ahead and give myself a free pass. I definitely should have won that game, as you had heard earlier. But guys, we outnumber them by a 4-to-1 ratio. This shouldn't even be close. Should not even be close. By pure odds alone, this should not happen. I'm just so disappointed in every one of you. Every single... That includes Fiaz and Imran. Just terrible. Terrible play. I mean, come on. Step up your game. Step up your game or step aside. Anyway, it's been a great week. We got a lot of football before Sunday. In case you didn't hear, we got a Thursday night game. We got 2 Saturday games. And then the rest of them on Sunday and Monday. This should be a pretty fun week to watch some football. There should be a lot of scoring. And as such, I certainly hope that we see some high scores put up. And best of luck to those guys who made it to the semifinals, just one game away from a chance at glory, from a one-on-one matchup for the Risque Picks Championship title. Fantastic. I can't wait. And for those of you who are not anywhere near that, better luck next year. That includes myself. Better luck next year. Actually, no, not better luck next year. Step up your game. Get better. Jeez Louise. This league needs to get better. We all have to get better. We need more competition, for goodness sake. I can't be making it into the playoffs every single year. What do you guys think you're doing over here? It's not just a game. It's fantasy. Anyway, again, I just thank you guys for listening. You know, if you liked the video today, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment. Who do you think is going to win this week? Is it going to be the King of the Hill versus the Old Man by the River? Who do you think is going to prevail there? You know, and then our other matchup is going to be Team Inconsequential, or is it going to be Mrs. Witten? I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And hit the subscribe button so you know when our Risque recap is available. Make sure YouTube sends you those notifications, because I want to be all up in your algorithm. And until next time, just want to say a quick thanks to our sponsor, Blended Rum. I finished pretty much my whole bottle. Might have to go ahead and make an LCBO run for more, you know, before the whole city gets shut down. But in the meantime, I got plenty of Orgeat syrup, orange curacao, plenty of simple syrup. I got a couple of drops probably, and some ice cubes. Make sure you shake it up, throw it over some crushed ice, sliced limes, squeeze all that lime juice out after you pour it in, and just enjoy yourselves a wonderful and a little bit depressing Sunday night. I've been your host, Korean. Thanks for joining me, and good luck.